Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are in week 10 of our predictions. I'm here joined today by always the person that's always with me for these videos.
What's up, y'all? We're back to talk some more football. With the head coach change and all sorts of things happening in the NFL, you know what time it is. Me and Wolf are here to talk about it.
Before we actually talk about the actual NFL games and whatnot, I gotta say this. First of all, this video might be a little late coming out. I'm sorry for that. Most people know why it's coming out late. If you guys have not actually already, just go check out my Discord. Let's just be honest here. If it's on Twitch, new viewers, welcome to the channel. I'm the Avatar Wolf, this, that, and the other. I usually put these videos on YouTube, but something happened on my YouTube channel. I cannot actually access my account at this time while we're recording. Don't know if it's gonna be fixed, but if we're on YouTube, I'm back, guys. Hi, thanks. Thanks for the support, I guess, for everyone that's actually upset about this. Real quickly.
I'm very upset about this. I'm super upset about this, and I've already told you. And no offense, I'm not going to name who I think it is, but Wolf knows who I think it is. And it's not a coincidence that this is all happening now, days after,
All I'm gonna say is this: if someone reported my videos, if you're reporting my videos and you're on the channel watching, just fuck you. Bye. If you have not reported the videos and you're just here watching, you're chilling, and if YouTube did it themselves, and that's cool, whatever. Just sorry for accusing you, but that's all I'm gonna say because we don't know at the end of the day who it is.
The last thing I want to say about this is, I just want everybody to understand that these are opinions. The way that Wolf and I feel about this are opinions. That's why we're called analysts, because we analyze and then we make our predictions. Again, our predictions, our thoughts, do not have to be followed by you. That is why this is an opinion video, what we think is going to happen in the NFL. For football. Not for nothing violent or anybody killing anybody or something. This is football, ladies and gentlemen.
And here's the thing as well, if you have a different opinion, put it in the comments if you're on YouTube. Listen, if you're on Twitch...
we appreciate your opinions, because that's what keeps this alive, is the opinions of anybody and everybody. It is okay to quarrel with myself or with Wolf on the opinions that we have about the game. That is the love of the game, for everyone to have opinions, but love football. Right or wrong?
Right.
So that's all I'm going to say, and I hope you guys enjoy this. But let's get to football.
Let's go to Carolina first for our Thursday night game, as we had the Atlanta Falcons winning the Carolina Panthers. They faced off before in week 8. Atlanta won a close game, 37-34.
Jeffrey Bezos at it again, giving us another shit-tacular special.
Now, I'll say this, though. Both teams, last time they faced each other, scored 30 points. And plus, we went to overtime with that marvelous Hail Mary game. So, take it as you will.
I mean, I do take it as I will, especially with the downward spiral that's happening in Carolina right now. I mean, not much to say more about the Atlanta Falcons, but I mean, and this is the problem. Like, they don't know who they want to be their quarterback, and they have, in my opinion, 3 viable options. Okay, one of them got hurt, and they turned to Baker, but they could have turned to Sam Darnold at any point. And I feel like, no offense, Carolina, for some reason I feel like you forgot that you have Sam Darnold on your team, and you've been so worried about how Baker Mayfield's going to be because you traded for him, that you forgot that you have a guy that's viable, that you guys haven't even worked with barely yet. I'm 100% behind Atlanta in this game, because at least they know that Marcus Mariota, win or loss, is their fucking guy. I'm just saying. In the NFL nowadays, if you don't know who your quarterback is and you have 3 viable options, there's fucking something wrong with you.
Don't forget, the Carolina Panthers, they actually have 4 quarterbacks on their roster.
They have 4? Even better.
Do you know who the 4th quarterback is?
I don't.
Matt Corral, who they drafted last season in the 3rd round.
Oh, wow. I forgot that he even existed, and I'm sure that people in Carolina did as well. So, with that being said, I'm still going to take Nothing's going to change me taking Atlanta because, like, at least they know who their guy is. And they're set on Marcus Mariota, win or loss. And in my opinion, that is the beginning and end of football nowadays.
Now,
Because I've said this in previous episodes, you can build a great defense, and defense can win you games. But defense isn't going to win you a Super Bowl. You need an offense that's going to keep up with a high-powered offense. Like, you know, teams like Kansas City and teams like the Buffalo Bills that have that high powered offense, those players that can just burn and throw over anything. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you can do whatever you want, but if you don't know who your guy is calling plays on your offense, then what are you doing?
now, I actually disagree with you on one thing. Yes, Mariota is the guy for this season, but Atlanta actually has a quarterback under Mariota's wing, really, that we're not really talking too much about.
And I know we're not talking about Desmond King. I understand that. And I know that he's on the bench and I get it. That's his name, correct? I said his correct name?
I
I
don't.
believe it's Desmond King.
Desmond Walker. No, not Desmond Walker. Let me get his actual name. Give me 1 second.
I know it's Desmond something.
Desmond Ritter.
Anyways, Ritter. Why did I think of King?
I think
Anyways,
didn't they have a person Desmond King on the roster like last season that was a
they did.
CB?
I swear they did. And maybe. Anyways, Desmond Ritter. And I'll tell you right now, Marcus Mariota right now is the guy. The guy that's going to keep your quarterback room in check, is able to win football games, knows what he's doing, a seasoned veteran, and is able to teach the rookie and take a backseat role when it's time for the rookie to assume his role. And right now, it's not that time. But I still think that Atlanta has a few tricks up their sleeves with Marcus Mariota behind center. And
Now,
they've been producing a lot. I like their running back. I can't pronounce his name at all, but he's
oh,
pretty awesome.
Cordell Patterson.
No.
Cordell Patterson is the running back for Atlanta.
There's another one there
There's another one. Uh,
who's been playing while Patterson's been injured. That's been lighting it up. Especially in fantasy. Has been a sleeper for the last couple of weeks.
Damian Williams, Avery Williams, Tyler Aguilar, Kabli Huntery, Tyler.
Yep. He's been, and on top of that, I mean, the fact that they're able to move the ball, I just don't think that Carolina's. I think Carolina's a sinking ship. Baker Mayfield got traded to a sinking ship, and that was the last ha from the Cleveland Browns. Like, fuck you, fella. Enjoy the sinking ship. Who knows if Baker's going to have a job next year? I mean, honestly, with the way they've been playing as a unit, it affects the way that people look at him. Honestly.
So my thing about Carolina is that they're in a sinking ship, yes, and they're not really trying this season to really win games this season. They're just trying to tank. They're trying to get a good draft pick. They've already kind of quit this season by getting rid of their head coach. We'll be talking about other head coaches here shortly soon, guys. Don't worry about that. And Atlanta has been better than what people expected. They're 4-5 this season. I believe they're second in the division. I believe they're right behind the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers and the Falcons are both the same record. Buccaneers won because of that little win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 5. The Falcons lost this Buccaneers. But right now, it's just more. Atlanta has more to lose in this game than Carolina does. Carolina loses this game, they're just going to go 2-8. Get a better draft pick in the draft. Maybe go after a quarterback if they don't believe in Baker, Sam Darnold, or all their 20 million quarterbacks they have on their roster. While Atlanta actually could lose their spot in the division. They could go down the third in the division and then start being like Carolina, where they're like, oh, we don't know what we're doing anymore, and we're just going to, start drafting people. They want to go into that spot.
In the first year post Matt Ryan, I think the Falcons have done a great job managing games and being in the position that they're in. I really think that they're in a great position for the first year post Matt Ryan. I'm just saying, I'm going to say that as well. Like, I'm impressed with how they've played post Matt Ryan.
I think we're both taking Atlanta over the Panthers, right?
For sure, buddy.
All right. Well, up next, let's go to Germany. You ever been to Germany, Potter?
No, but in Michigan here they have a place called what the fuck's it called? I don't know. My wife took me there not too long ago, but it's like a little German town, so it's pretty dope. Yeah, I'd like
The
to go to Germany.
the Seattle Seahawks going into Germany to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Germany.
And you know what? It's great to see this happen in Germany. What I'm seeing on the fantasy waiver wire, and I'm your guy. I'm Pooty, and I'm your guy for fantasy. Looking at the fantasy, uh, Geno Smith, they're saying to start him against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I couldn't agree more. Geno Smith has had an amazing season. And I've been saying it all season. It's like a weird Freaky Friday. Like him and Russell Wilson switched, like they both touched the ball and like gave each other a hug and switched towns. Because this is a Geno Smith I've never seen before. He's comfortable in the pocket, able to make passes. This is a much smarter, more aggressive Geno Smith than we ever seen play with the Jets. I mean, Wolf, do you agree it's some Freaky Friday nonsense?
I've been on the hype train really that Geno Smith has been like lighting it up for the actual Seahawks. They're 6-3 for a reason. That's because Geno Smith has actually been producing as the offensive coordinator, as the offensive quarterback for the Seahawks. It's been a really different change. Like this team is different under Geno Smith compared to how it was against Russell Wilson. The team actually is so happy. They're all together. Like, did you see that interview that Lockett had the post match, the one like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Man seemed really happy, like pleased. And you know why? Because and as much as anybody wants to try to disagree with me, I think in those last 2 years, the eyes in Seattle were really on Russell Wilson, and people were getting sick and tired of it. And you see the mediocre play now. And as it is in football, the quarterback is the guy. That's the guy that you turn to when there's problems. That's the guy you turn to throw the ball. That's the guy you turn to sometimes even save the game. But when people started and his own teammates started to doubt his play, and as the play declined, I think it was one of the smartest moves for Pete Carroll. And people like to underrate Pete Carroll so much. Oh, he should have been fired. Blah, 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 blah. That man's a fucking genius. Okay? That man's a fucking genius. And you in Seattle are lucky to have a coach like Pete Carroll because he can take a nobody like Geno Smith, who he was, a backup nobody anymore. 5, 6 years in the league, not able to do shit. Look at him now. I'm saying that Pete Carroll is, in my opinion, a miracle maker for Seattle, turning them what was mediocre season, barely over 500, not making the playoffs, into a possible playoff berth this year with Geno Smith, the backup quarterback that nobody wanted. I mean, how is that for a slap in the face to Russell Wilson? The Denver
Oh,
Broncos, in my opinion, got the shit end of that deal, because a declining Russell Wilson is not the same as an upcoming Geno Smith, and he saw it. That's why I say that he's a genius. And if people say they wanted him fired, bah, why? Why? So he can't bring your team another playoff berth? Okay. So your team doesn't see a playoff berth for another 3 to 4 years? Okay.
so what's your opinion on Tampa Bay this season?
Up and down. And it really it's the Tom Brady show. And it's weird whether he shows up to play or not, if his head's in the clouds or what. They've been losing, and it's not good. It doesn't look good for Tom in his last season. What could potentially be his last season? And this season of football has costed the man his family. So you have to understand. But there is something weird I saw on Facebook/Twitter, a picture of Tom Brady's beefed. Like the kid looks in incredible shape. The kid's like 15, practicing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the kid's throwing 30 to 40 yard passes, and it kind of freaked me out. You know what I'm saying? We can't have another Brady come and rule the world.
So knowing like you know how they say don't bet against Brady. Um, this season's been really hard to actually like win bets against with the Buccaneers because it all depends on if they show up or not. Usually, in every game is the case. Who are you taking over, Seattle or the Buccaneers?
I'm taking Seattle because, in my opinion, this is Seattle's year to make a bounce back and to do it with the quarterback, like I keep saying, that nobody wanted. Even the Jets, after a while, didn't want him. You know, he spent a year in 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 Giant Land as well.
Yeah, he spent the year in New York in Giants.
Yeah,
Yep.
spent a year in Giant Land. They didn't want him. Comes to the Seahawks, plays a little bit in relief of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson starts to play like crap. He gets traded, and look at that. And honestly, this has been a really good year for Geno Smith. I hope that he takes this year and rallies behind it and plays as well as he did this year in the playoffs and beyond into next year. I hope this isn't a fluke because you know what it is. Like sometimes players have that good year and then it's just not the next year. So I'm hoping the best for Geno Smith. I'm going to take the Seahawks over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for sure.
Now I'm actually going to take the opposite here. I'm going to go with Buccaneers over Seattle because of one reason. Tampa Bay, they have to actually win this game. Seattle is actually a good, huh?
But they won't.
They have to win this game. Tom Brady pulls out wins when he has to pull them out.
I think that Tom Brady is long gone, sir, and we're going to see it this Sunday. That defense in Seattle is not as prime as it was in Super Bowl time for them in the past, but honestly, that's a good defense that I see and a great offense to back that up. I don't know if Tommy doesn't come to play, it's not going to be a good day. I'm telling you. That Buccaneers defense seems to have holes that everyone sees.
And I agree with you on a certain set on like that on Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense and defense. They've been like lackluster. It's all been depending on how they play this whole season. And by the way, people will say that it's not Tom Brady; it's people dropping the ball for Buccaneers. Regardless of if it's someone not playing, the whole offense needs to come out and produce on in Germany to win this game in Seattle. Seattle's not a pushover team. My opinion here is that Seattle has a 6-3 record. The team that's closest behind them is the Niners with 4-4. They can't afford a loss here. Where Tampa Bay, they're tied for the division right now. They need to win this game to actually keep it close in their division against the Falcons. And what better way to get back into the swing of things than beating a team like the Seattle Seahawks that's kind of overproducing what people actually didn't think they were going to do this season. This is like Tampa Bay versus.
Do it in Deutschland.
So
that's
this.
German. If you guys didn't know, Deutschland is German for Germany.
So this is going to be a close game. This is going to be a close contest. I think both teams are going to come out here and actually produce and show off. I'm not taking anything away from Geno Smith. Geno Smith is still one of the best quarterbacks right now this season. He's actually a top 5 quarterback this season, guys. I'm legit saying that. Do you agree with that he's a top 5 quarterback?
I'd say he's in top 10. I'd say he's in the high numbers of the top. Like I'd say like mid. Like I'd say 6 or 7, but I wouldn't say in the top 5.
Okay, who's your top 5 this season?
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Cooper Rush when he played because he played very well, even though he's not really playing anymore. He played very well.
Okay, that's your 3. 4 and 5?
3. 4 and 5 need to be Tua Tagovailoa and fuck am I thinking of this last one? I know names. Sorry.
What team?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been Ryan, and my 5 is actually a tie. It's Ryan Tannehill and fuck, what's that fucking other kid's name? Oh, dude from Philly.
Oh, Jalen Hurts?
Yes. They're tied for 5 because Hurts is obviously doing very well.
So,
and then 6 and then 7 is obviously who we're talking about.
Yeah, my top 5 is actually Allen, Mahomes, Hurts, Tua's got to be up there. He's been actually laying up the whole season this year. And then my 5 is actually Geno Smith. I didn't put Cooper Rush up there. I didn't really see that much in Cooper Rush. He wins games, yes, but he hands the ball off a lot. He doesn't actually control the game like those 5 quarterbacks do that I just mentioned.
When he was throwing the ball, I liked it. That's what I'm going to say. He was throwing accurate passes, and I mean that, in my opinion, he's great. He was great when he played. He won games. I think he only lost one game that he played.
So you're taking Seattle, I'm taking the Bucks.
Yep.
All right. Up next, we go to Buffalo. The Minnesota Vikings taking on the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, the Jets played a great game. I'm just going to go ahead and say it for us both. As much as it hurts to say, the Jets played a great game. Josh Allen hurt his shoulder. It's questionable for this game.
I believe it's actually his elbow.
7-1 elbow, shoulder. 7-1 Minnesota Vikings. It's really hard. I know that they're saying not to play Kirk Cousins against Buffalo's defense. We're getting a couple players back in the secondary this week. It's really tough to say. Honestly, it's tough to say if Josh Allen doesn't play. I think that Case Keenum would be great, will play great in his stead. I think Case Keenum fully has the ability. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills regardless. I love the Vikings. I think they've been doing great this year. But regardless if it's Allen or Keenum, I think that high-powered offense and that defense stops that offense. I mean, Dalvin Cook might do a little something. Same with Hawkinson if they can get the ball in his hands. But that offense beats that defense all day long. If Case Keenum comes ready to play instead of fucking around on Twitter or TikTok or whatever the hell he was doing, pretending to be a fan, talking to Buffalo Bills players, and them not knowing it was him. If he stops doing that, if he has the performance that he had in preseason, we're in fucking trouble. That's what I'll say. But I'm still going to take the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going to say this real quickly about this game. Poyer makes such a fucking difference in this defense when he's actually in and when he's out.
Oh, no, I know. It's so crazy how much one player being gone can impact. And it's the type of leadership he brings to the locker room.
And I'm not just saying that because of how Johnson played. Johnson was playing horrendous on the tackles against the Jets' halfbacks, which is the reason the actual Jets were able to run against the Bills' defense, is because Johnson, that's the secondary position. Johnson, I can't think of his first name, but Johnson was the backup for Poyer, and he was just missing tackles that he shouldn't be missing, and Poyer would actually hit those tackles, and that was a big difference. And also, losing Matt Milano for that game, too, also hurt a ton as well. It's funny how 2 players make this, top defense in the league turn into what we just saw on...
When you're a big time leader on a defense or an offense and you get lost for the rest of the game or a game period, it suffers because that's that team leader that's going to be in the back. Come on, boys, we got this. Don't let them get into your heads. That's the type of leadership that those type of players are impact players that bring to that field. You know what I'm saying? And them being gone hurts. And you could see it everywhere in the league that has players like that. Let's just use Green Bay for an example. Losing Devontae Parker really hurt them. Or Devontae Adams really hurt them because he was impactful on that offense and he was able to make plays where these other receivers can't, and we'll get to that later. But it's just an example that I like to use because it's clear and visible to anybody, even who doesn't know football. Wow, they kind of suck, even with Aaron Rodgers.
So my whole thing is that you lose 2 big keys on defense for that game against the Jets, and I don't think you really lost them. I think the Bills actually came out there and I don't want to say it, but they underestimated the Jets. They came out there, they didn't expect the Jets to actually be a decent team. They thought they were a joke like everyone else thinks they are. And they paid for it by losing that game last week.
I agree. We came out overzealous, but it won't happen again.
We got the Jets in Buffalo. I'm not worried about that game.
I think Minnesota's going to get eaten up by this Bills team. I think the Bills are now going to come out and show that it's not a fluke, like the Jets got lucky. I just, I think if they can contain Adam Thielen, it will be fine.
I'm not worried
Dalvin
about
Cook is-
Thielen.
I'd be worried about Thielen and Dalvin Cook.
I'm
That's
worried
where
about
I'm
Justin
at.
Jefferson more. You forgot all about Jefferson, haven't you? Didn't you?
I mean, I think that Jefferson can be covered fine. I'm worried more about the slot.
Who do we have on this team that covered Jefferson?
Elam's been fine.
Elam is kind of hurt though. He got himself injured against the Jets.
Oh, shit.
I'm
still taking the Bills. I think
taking.
Bills are gonna
All
make
right.
a statement this Sunday.
I'm taking the Bills. Josh Allen's gonna play on Sunday. First of all, I'm gonna say that right now. Josh Allen plays on Sunday with an arm actually injured.
I think it would be smart for him to not. I mean, I'm not trying to be like that, but I think it would be smart for him to sit that fuck down if he's hurting. Because the way that he plays, we can't lose him for the rest of the season. I'd rather lose him for one game than for the rest of the season. Just saying, throwing that out there.
We're gonna see. Well, here's the thing. We're gonna see him anyways, regardless, playing with a brace on his arm when he comes back.
I think we see Case Keenum play this game.
Josh Allen plays in my bold prediction, but I also have another bold prediction. This is going to be your first game you see Trey White back on the lineup for the defense.
That's a pretty bold prediction.
I think Trey White's ready, and they were just holding him back for the Jets game because there's a reason they don't have him on the pulp list right now, and they actually have him on the main roster. I think he's actually ready to go, but they're trying to save him for an important game. And what important game to play him against them? The actual 7-1 Vikings.
Pretty important game.
Pretty tough team to face too, so I think they're gonna do that. And also, did you know it's supposed to snow actually in Buffalo this week?
That's kind of exciting because there's been no snow here.
It's gonna be an exciting game. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's not gonna be like an easy game for any means for Buffalo or Minnesota. Both teams are gonna have to actually earn it. I think Buffalo's defense is gonna come out there and start playing tremendously because Poyer and Milan will be back in the lineup. I think that was the main problem they had against the Jets, is that they lost their two star-studded players on defense, and I think that is a main culprit for why the Bills lost to the Jets. I also think a main culprit also is for that game is that Josh Allen played like 2018. Josh Allen went out there against the Jets that week. It's like he wanted to show Zach Wilson how he used to play back in the NFL back in the day. That's how he was playing. He was not looking lights out at all. But I'll say this, even with his arm injured, he can still make a deep pass down the field. And if Gabe Davis actually had hands, he would have caught it. Give me Buffalo. We both agree on Buffalo?
Hell yeah, we both agree on Buffalo.
All right, we go to the next one. The Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears.
So the thing about this game is like the Lions are coming off a win. And now they have they have Amon-Ra St. Brown back. They have him back in the lineup. I know that Swift is questionable, but he played a really good second half this past Sunday. And if he's in the game, could be good for Detroit. Going against the Bears, where Justin Fields is lighting it up. And what would it mean for Justin Fields? And we come back to this statement, and everybody loves when Pooty talks about Justin Fields because, as you guys know, as you guys assume, Justin Fields is one of my favorite players, and that's actually not true. I have not watched one single Chicago Bears game all year long. But I like Justin Fields. I think that he's evolving in his place in Chicago. I think it's really good for Chicago.
Can I read you some stats? Can I read you some stats, Potter?
You can.
Justin Fields last week against the Dolphins, which, by the way, Bears scored over 30 points that game. 32. They lost 35-32 in that game. Justin Fields had 28 passes. He had 17 completions, 123 yards passing, and 3 touchdown passes. Now you see that right there. You're like, okay, that's nice touchdown passes, but like the passes didn't go that far down the field, right? And
Right.
stuff like that. But listen to this: 15 carries, 178 yards rushing with one touchdown for Fields as well.
That it's crazy. I just he's something special for that team. And it's really tough to call this game. It's really tough. A couple weeks before they play Buffalo in Thanksgiving. I think it's detrimental for Detroit to win now. Um because on Thanksgiving they're taking a loss in Detroit to the Buffalo Bills.
They're taking a
That
loss next
happened.
week too.
They playing next week.
The Giants.
If for some reason they can have two miraculous wins and then a win on Thanksgiving, that could fault them right back into playoff contention. But I think in Detroit, it's either win this game and then tank the rest of the season. I don't know why. Well, I actually do, but you know, you got to try to get that. You got to try to get a better quarterback. I think that's all that matters in Detroit right now. All the fans will say they don't want Goff. They don't. I'm gonna take the Bears.
Ooh, you're taking the Bears. I was not expecting that. I thought you were going to take Detroit, actually.
Yeah, I think it's just honestly for Detroit, you tank now. Tank now.
I wasn't really on the Fields hype train. Like the first few games of the season, he was having like terrible games and whatnot. He wasn't passing the ball that well efficiently. He just looked like he was trying to be a pocket passer, and that's not his game. And then he finally something flipped on Justin Fields. He started to run the ball out of the pocket more. He started actually doing what he does best. Like I know he can't pass that well this right now so far. That's where development has to come into play for the Bears. If they can develop him right into a passer, he might not be a Lamar Jackson 2.0, but he's athletic, man. If he lets his athleticism do all the talking, he can actually be a dangerous quarterback in this league. And that's what we've been seeing. I mean, like, the Bears are not stopping. They got, like, last 3 games, 33 points against the Patriots, 29 against the Cowboys, 32 against the freaking Dolphins. That's impressive. You can't say that's not impressive for the Bears to be putting up that many points against teams like that, especially the Patriots and Cowboys. I think those are three elite
Impressive.
defenses.
Very impressive.
As long as Justin Fields learns to actually not throw the ball over and this, that, and the other, as long as he figures that out, he'll be okay in the NFL. I don't think there's much of a problem for him. The Lions. Man, they started off so hot to start the season, and then they just went downhill since then. They're on they just won their last game against the Packers, but we got to talk about more of the Packers when we get to that game. 5-game losing streak they snapped against the Packers last week. This is such a tough game to call because I don't know which team is actually favored, which team is actually better to win this game. Both defenses are basically the worst defenses in the NFL. The Bears rank 32nd in the league. The Lions rank 31st. I'm gonna go with Potter and take the Bears. I was expecting him to take the Lions. I was gonna take the Bears because I think that was gonna be a close game either way. But I think the Bears actually have a better shot at winning, especially if they let Justin Fields just let loose like they've been doing for the past few weeks. Justin Fields is their ride or die right now, and if they can't win the game, it's because Justin Fields didn't have a good game, and that's what you have to risk with this team like this. So yeah, we're both taking the Bears, right, Potter?
Yep.
Up next, we go to Tennessee, as we have the Tennessee Titans at the Broncos at the Tennessee Titans. Why are my notes messed up? That's what I'm wondering. All right, so you got anything to say about this game?
It's tough to lose an impact player on your defense. I'm going to go right back to what I was talking about with the Buffalo game. But this time it's a reality that this player's not coming back in Denver. Losing Bradley Chubb, a playmaker, a game changer, a team leader, it's hard. And the rest of the players feel that. They feel that loss. So They came off the bye, did they not?
Yes.
So I'm hoping to see something different happening in Denver, but post Bradley Chubb it's tough to say, and they're walking into a Tennessee team that's not stop like Derrick Henry's not stopping. Like I'm gonna take the Titans at home. Yeah, I'm taking the Titans.
To be fair, it kind of helps when you're not passing the ball a lot. Like Malik Willis only had like 16 attempts this game. I believe one game before that he only had like 5 passes. They want to have Derrick Henry running the ball because they don't want to have the ball in Malik Willis's hands. It all depends if Tannehill's playing or not. If you gotta play against the run if you're playing against Tennessee right now, because that's the only way they're gonna be able to beat you. If you can stop the run, you can stop the Tennessee offense.
I think without Bradley Chubb, they can't stop the run.
The Broncos are such. It's so hard to talk about the Broncos, man, because one week they look decent. They look like they're actually getting offensive like touchdowns against the Jaguars. But then you look at a 4-game losing streak for the Broncos. Like they lose to the Raiders, they lose to the Colts, they lose to the Chargers. 3 teams that are kind of like wishy-washy. You're like you don't really know what they're really doing, especially the Raiders and the Colts. Like those 2 teams right there, and they lose them, and they're like, what is going on here in Denver? It's quite simple, really. Potter, what do you call him?
What?
Our great head coach for Denver.
Oh, Nasty Nate?
Nasty Nate. That's the Nasty Nate way to lose games in the regular season. I don't know why he's an actual head coach. I'm surprised that he's not fired yet. Someone get the freaking trash can in Denver, throw him in it, and just like get something new. Make Peyton Manning your head coach for fuck's sake. I don't care. Just get him out of Denver.
I mean, the Colts did it for somebody that's never had coaching experience before. I mean, it's not like we've never seen it now.
You're not wrong. We'll get to that. We actually have the Colts as well tonight. We gotta talk about. But
he said, I don't even know I have this job.
You're not wrong. He asked that. He said that. Give me the Titans over the Broncos. Nasty Nate. Bye. Mwah, love you.
Yeah, your coach. You're Wolf's favorite coach.
Yeah. I'm just surprised he still has a fucking job. He should not even be hired yet.
Remember when he was the OC in Buffalo? Garbage.
Up next, we go to Kansas City. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's been it's been an up and down season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got a lot of good pieces in place, especially with the trade that they made. Calvin Ridley will be on the field next year. I don't think that they can beat the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Like the Chiefs are going crazy. Like, and now with the addition of Kadarius Toney, which the people are calling the poor man's Tyreek Hill, which he'll never really be Tyreek Hill. He's just a fast guy. They're going to expect more production, especially in fantasy from this Kadarius Toney. He's injury prone. That's the problem. But either way, with or without, I think that the Chiefs are just fine, and I'm taking them to win this football game. I'm sorry if that upsets anybody, but it's just how do you beat that team if you don't have and a lot of these teams I feel are close but they're just missing a few things. Like that offense is great in Jacksonville. I feel like they're missing some pieces on defense, and they're going to find them with the drafts and free agency and stuff like that. And I think that team could be great in the next couple of years. I just think that when it comes to going up against teams that are very well established, like the Kansas City Chiefs, it's just hard to beat that high energy team. It's really hard.
Hey, Potter, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you watch the newest Muppets movie?
Which Muppets movie?
The newest one?
No.
I mean, like, Patrick Mahomes had a good performance in it.
Oh my god.
He knows where I'm going with this. Kermit the Frog is gonna throw 500 passing yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not even gonna be much of a contest.
Can you hear me and Patrick make TikTok videos and Kermit the Frog here?
Give me the Chiefs over the Jaguars. I'm not even like Jacksonville is like they're getting there. They're not actually a what's the correct wording? I don't want to say they're a good team. They're not an average team. They're above like they're below average, but they're above trash is what I'm gonna say. They're still rebuilding. They're still figuring out their way. They're not the Chiefs. Let's not like kid ourselves. This could be a trap game for Kansas City.
If for some reason Jacksonville can win this game, I'm gonna be thoroughly impressed with how much this team has changed.
If Jacksonville wins this game, Trevor Lawrence shows that he deserves to be a franchise quarterback if he can win this game against Kansas City. That's the whole issue right now, is if he can keep it up with Kansas City's offense, then yeah. But here's the thing. Kansas City somehow lost to the Colts. Give me Jacksonville, or give me Kansas City over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Whoa.
I'm not taking it. Pardon?
I thought you were gonna say Jacksonville.
I was about to say Jacksonville. I'm taking the Chiefs. I can't trust Jacksonville yet. Not until they prove me something. But anything can happen in the NFL. That's all I gotta say.
I agree.
Up next, we go to Miami as the Cleveland Browns take on the Miami Dolphins. My question for you is what thing is gonna be added to Crutcher's name after you lose this game?
Cleveland is 1 week away from getting. I don't want to say this and get Wolf banned on Twitch. So YouTube is different. I don't care about their community guidelines. You know what I want to call him? McTouch. I'm gonna call him just McTouchy because yeah. So they're gonna get McTouchy back next week, and you know what's messed up?
They're not getting him back next week.
What? It's week 11.
No, they changed it to week 13. He was supposed to be back week 8.
Damn, that's
they changed it to week 13 because they want to take down Texans.
Because I was gonna say, dude, because he's gonna take on the Buffalo Bills that week. But that's okay. They're gonna get McTouchy back in week 13. Cleveland, tank and get a receiver for your guy, McTouchy. Maybe you can get a McSteely or something like that, or a Mc. I don't know. Something to compliment him.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take not the Browns.
The Dolphins?
Yeah. Oh my God, they're the Dolphins. Dude, the Dolphins are gonna come in, and if they've been playing the way that they've been playing, Tua's gonna light it up. I mean, I don't even think they have the corner. Like they have one corner that could keep up, but who they gonna put him on? Tyreek Hill or Waddle, which leaves one open and one vulnerable.
Hill.
You know what I'm saying? I would put him on Hill if I was the Browns. I'd have no choice.
I put Ward on Hill and I put Newsom on Waddle. And I'd also probably put a linebacker that's actually faster on the outside edge to actually bump Waddle off the line if he's in the slot. Oh man, this is the thing is of the Browns is that there's a possibility the Browns can get to Tua and injure him. Because we know Myles Garrett and Clowney does not care about like roughing a passer.
I know.
And I'm not even taking shots at the Browns for saying this, but when Garrett gets you, you're going down to the mat. If you're going to fight him with it, he's going to make sure you're going down. And Tua might land on his head. And that's not saying that Garrett's like a dirty player or nothing like that. It's just he makes sure they go down to the ground. He's actually ranked first right now in defensive edges this season.
I know. It's crazy. I don't know. It comes back to that high-powered offense thing. If Raheem Mostert can get going, Jeff Fisher and Raheem Mostert can get going. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna take Miami.
Hey, Miami. The Browns coming off a bye week too.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm gonna take Miami as well. I just the high-powered offense is the whole problem.
Firecrusher. But I've been very clear from the beginning. I really think that's always what Deshaun Watson wanted in Houston was a receiver to throw the ball to. When they traded DeAndre Hopkins away, I knew it wasn't going to be long before they traded him away too. I think that the Cleveland Browns need to tank, and they can get some more defensive help or a guard, or some O-line help, and then take a good receiver in round 2.
I don't even think they need a receiver. They got Amari Cooper.
I still think you go Amari Cooper. Really?
Crusher was comparing him to the top 5 receivers last time he was here.
Yeah. I love Crusher. I love Crusher so much, but he is so wrong.
He said that he is the best route runner in the league, I believe. What? Is that what he said?
What?
I think that's what he said. You were here defending his thing that you said he said.
I was not defending him at all. Actually, I said something against that. There's 5 much better receivers. Route runners, maybe not. I'd say he's in the top 5 route runners for sure. Amari Cooper definitely knows how to run a route. But in the top 5 receivers overall, the fuck? No. No.
Give me Miami.
Not at all. That's like fucking trying to compare fucking Michael Crabtree to fucking Stephon Diggs. Jesus Christ.
All right, we're both taking the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Up next, we got the Texans going up against the Giants in New York.
Giants. Without a doubt, the Giants.
The Giants.
I believe the Giants are coming off a bye week.
Yes.
So they're going to be healthy. More healthy. Maybe not all the way healthy, but more healthy. And again, they've been doing some unseenable things in New York in a long while. You know what I'm saying? Lest we forget about the Joe Judge years. Poor Giants fans. What they go 2 and what they go that year? It was 3 and whatever or 2 and whatever.
3 and 14 or something like that. I can't remember. Talking about last season?
I think it was 2 and 15.
Something like that.
And it's a much better breath of fresh air for New York Giants fans. And I'm a believer too. I like the change that you guys have made. And I keep hearing through the grapevine that it could be, and this is barring that Josh Allen stays healthy, it could be a rematch of the 90s Super Bowl when we see the Buffalo Bills take on the New York Giants. And that would be a hell of a throwback to see it, 35 years later, Wolf?
Something like that, I believe.
32 years later, some shit like
32,
that.
32.
Yeah. So that would be cool.
I just don't see the Giants actually making it all the way to the Super Bowl this season. That's the problem.
They said that the year Eli Manning beat Tom Brady in the 17-0. I'm just saying, they said that year too.
You're not wrong.
The Giants play much better, and in my opinion, the Giants play much better after they've come off the bye and in the second half of the season. In November and December, they really make it count.
How can you say this when this is their first year with the ball as head coach?
Right. I get it. I can say this because I've watched. Okay. This Giants team reminds me a lot of that. I want to say that the
Buffalo Bills?
The team that ended up beating the 17-0.
Oh, the Patriots. You're talking about the 2008 Giants.
A lot of it. This team reminds me a lot of it. A lot of talent on here that know, like a young squad. They're really relying on, you know, they're really relying on a younger quarterback to get the job done. He's about Daniel Jones is what? I think he's in his 5th year, 4th year,
4 or 5, or I think
something like
fourth
that.
year, something like that.
It took about that many years before Eli Manning won his first Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Yeah. This team reminds me a lot of that. They're fighting till the bitter end. And it doesn't matter, they're trying, even though they've been a little injury prone this year, they've played really, really well. Like, you can't deny that spark of difference that Brian Dabois brings to this team and his coaching staff brings to this team. Brings the new. I'm going to say it again because I used it for something else. Oh, I used it for the Giants. It breathes a new breath of fresh air and new life into the Giants. I don't know. Call me silly, but I see them as a sleeper team in that NFC.
They're not a sleeper team in this game, though. They're definitely beating Texans.
And I've said it. I'm saying in the NFC period, and I've said it since week 1 that they were the sleeper this year because of Brian Dabois and the way that he calls plays and the way that he coaches. He brings something special to a team, and we've seen it with the Buffalo Bills, where he completely changed our offense. And it's hard for coaches that come from college to transition into the NFL. We've seen it 100 times where coaches from college do great and they don't do great in the NFL. I think the Giants I think they can make the playoffs this year if they keep playing as hard and as well as they've been playing.
Oh,
And
I'm not going to argue about the playoffs. The Super Bowl, the only thing I'm saying is that them being likely to be Super Bowl favorites is hard to say. I can't really see them.
And here's the thing. I can say that because I can see it. And it's not something that, like, okay, I'm just saying that to say that. It's just a lot of their play style reminds me of that 2008 Giants team where they were, winning a lot of important games, and it's coming down to a second half type of thing because they're not a first half team, getting blown out 21-3 in the first half, but them coming back and winning the game in the second half. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that I'm seeing happen with these games that's reminding me a lot of a sleeper team that came out of the Giants long ago that dethroned Tom Brady in one of his best seasons ever.
What do you guys say about the Texans?
Nothing good. Never anything good. Sorry.
I mean, they got rid of their GM. That's the only good thing they've done so far this season.
I like that. I like that. He was a basket case. I like the fact that, you know what? I will say good things because I really like their quarterback. I think they need to stick with him. He's definitely got talent. I think they need to throw a few. I think they need key players. Again, this is a team that lacks certain players in certain places that they need. You know what I'm saying? I think they have a solid quarterback. Because again, younger quarterbacks are going to have their ups and downs, and that always happens. But he is the type of player that shows some sort of promise, and you've seen it, flashes of that promise.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't deny that they have something special acquired in that quarterback. I just think they need to put a little bit more around him.
All right, so who are you taking, Giants or Texans?
It's obvious I'm going to take the Giants.
I'm taking the Giants too. This is just too much of an easy game for the Giants not to win this game. Now, I don't think it's going to be.
Giants game to lose.
It is a Giants game to lose, and I do believe it's going to be a close game because all the Giants games are close for some reason this season. They don't really blow out teams. They kind of keep it like close and they win in the end. So give me the Giants over the Texans. Up next, we go.
You of their 2008 counterpart.
We go to Pittsburgh as we got the New Orleans Saints at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Man, I'm not even going to talk about this game because, like, I don't know who to pick. So I'm going to listen because I'm going to listen to what you have to say because I really don't know about either one of these teams.
The
Like, it's a
Saints
head
are
scratcher.
the Saints are up and down this season. The Steelers are just
Down.
yeah, they're down.
Post Ben Roethlisberger, life has not been good for the Steelers at all.
This is a game that the Saints win. I'm just gonna put it out there. The Saints have been winning against games like they beat the Raiders, they beat the Seahawks, and they beat the Falcons. I mean, that's their 3 wins this season. And they've had a tough schedule here, losing to like the Vikings, losing to the Bengals, Arizona as well. Like they just lost last week to Baltimore, and Pittsburgh coming off a bye week as well, which gives Pittsburgh more of a advantage over the Saints. But I don't know. I just see like Andy Dalton as being a better like quarterback than Kenny Pickett right now is this season.
I agree with that.
What do you think about the Steelers getting rid of Chase Claypool and giving him to Chicago?
Chicago is where Chase Claypool went. I thought
yes.
He went to the Seahawks.
No, he went to Seattle. He went to Chicago.
For some reason, I thought he went to Seattle. I mean, it's an obvious indication that the Steelers are trying to rebuild, and they want good players to get out and try to have a chance. And I think it was them giving Chase Claypool a chance to work with a quarterback that, in my opinion, of course, in my opinion, and I cannot stress that enough, in my opinion, a quarterback that is able to throw the ball his way. I don't think Kenny Pickett I never thought that Trubisky was going to be the answer there. I always thought Trubisky was a bridge guy. Able to move the ball, but not a starter.
So my whole thing about this game is what's Cameron Jordan going to do against the Steelers offensive line? The Steelers offensive line has been abysmal this year.
That's right, dude. He's going to tear them apart. Holy crap.
And they also have Davenport on the other side of him as well. Now, I got to take the Saints. I mean, even though they don't have Michael Thomas, they don't have really a lot of like... I mean, even Jarvis Landry is questionable play. And Melvin Ingram II for running back is questionable play with a leg injury. I just like the Saints more in this game compared to like Pittsburgh. I just don't really see Pittsburgh actually having really much of a chance. Chris Olave is going to be playing this game. Kamara is going to be playing this game. What is Pittsburgh going to have to stop them? Oh wait, TJ Watt's back. Okay.
I mean, I still think that that's not going to be enough. Might be a little bit of something. I know Najee Harris is they keep saying don't use him in fantasy.
Who they keep saying?
Najee Harris.
Oh, Najee Harris is one of the most overrated players right now this season. He's not that good. He's bad for Pittsburgh, and if I was Pittsburgh, I would have tried trading him because his stock is just plummeting. I would have got rid of him this season because his stock's gonna keep plummeting, and he's not gonna get a job after like once his contract's up, probably, because he's just been terrible this season. I'm taking the Saints over Pittsburgh. How about you, Potter?
I was thinking the same thing.
I know TJ Watt's back, and your defense is finally healthy. Is TJ Watt off of IR though? Is the question, because I know he's supposed to be back, but is he actually going to be officially off? Okay, they're saying he is returning, so you know what? Whatever. If he doesn't play, it doesn't matter to me. I still think the Saints beat the Steelers. TJ Watt might be a difference maker, but he's gonna take us a little time to get back to the NFL here. Let's just say it's week 8, it's week 10. You know, he hasn't played since week 1. Give me the Saints over the Steelers. All right, we're going to Las Vegas. You ready to gamble our money away? Because we got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, it is the Jeff Saturday era. The coach of the interim head coach is Jeff Saturday, who's never coached a day in his life. Was on the podium during that interview and goes, "I don't even know why they gave me this job." Says a lot about what's going on in Indianapolis. He is not changing quarterback. He did say that Sam Ellinger is the starting quarterback.
Jim Irsay is the grandpa that needs to get his keys taken away at this point.
I totally agree.
My man went up there and he said and he defended Frank Wright first of all by saying he's never hired a wrong head coach. All his head coaches he's ever hired has been a winning record coaches.
No, they have what?
Did you not hear that?
Do you not remember Matt Patricia? Oh no, that was the Lions.
Then he went up there and compared his new GM or his GM to Michael Jordan because he asked how many shots has Michael Jordan missed. Yes. No, not Chris Bernard.
That was Trent Balake. Okay.
He compared him to Michael Jordan by saying how many shots did Michael Jordan miss before he hit a game-winning shot. I love this.
I'm not taking the Colts.
Oh, you want to take Josh McDaniels?
Yeah.
The brilliant mind of Josh McDaniels. This is another head coach that needs to be fired on the spot.
Shit. By the way, this is one of Pootie's shit games of the week. Brought to you in part by AWW.
I swear, if that's a video that got like hit, I know why. Because of what Ace said. If we're not gonna say the word here, but I'm pretty sure that's why it got hit. If that's the reason I can't get on the account. Anyways,
when he called his head coach a wiener blower.
Yes.
I said wiener blower because it's Weenie Hut Jr. around here. We're being nice.
Okay, man, since you wanted to take the Raiders, they have a worse record than the Colts right now.
And I thought his name was Johnny Starbrook.
That's the Saints.
Yeah, Johnny Starbrook said it, not Ace.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry. They sound so alike.
I know. I thought that too.
Okay, anyways, so 2-6 Raiders taking on the 3-5-1 Colts.
So this is gonna be one of the weird games where I'm gonna call this a tie.
You're gonna call this game a tie?
Yeah, this is the shit game of the week. One of the shit games of the week, and this is a tie. Always the Thursday night game is the shit game of the week as well.
Oh, this is 4:05 Sunday football in Las Vegas, 39 degrees outside. Give me the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Oakland Raiders.
I'm gonna tie. No, I'm gonna take the Colts. Fuck it, I'm gonna take the Colts.
Now I'm taking the Colts.
Let's see what Jeff Saturday can do.
That's the only reason I'm taking the Colts. I don't trust Josh McDaniels.
Can't be any worse than Josh McDaniels or Nasty Nate.
You're not wrong.
He has some fucking shitty coaches, dude. Holy shit.
I was saying this as well. Sam Ellinger, his first game against the Commanders was actually a decent game. His second game against the Patriots, he just couldn't get the ball off because his offensive line was shit. And you know what? They brought in an offensive line head coach to get the job done and fix this offensive line. Such a smart play by Jim Irsay, man. A head coach that was once an offensive lineman to change the offensive woes in Indianapolis.
He said he was going to choose a play caller. I wonder if he did that.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But
I know he said that during that interview. Why he said, "I don't even know why I have this job." Oh, I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. Graham, it's like when you're in the car and your grandpa forgot to use his blinker to merge into a different lane, and you're like, "Papa, why didn't you use your blinker?" All right, Papa.
all right, you ready to go next game? I think we're both thinking the Colts.
Yeah,
All right,
I was
we got
gonna
the
say
Dallas Cowboys going in the Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers.
Cowboys. Packers are losing, and I keep saying that we will see a new home for Aaron Rodgers next year, and I'm saying he's going to be black and silver.
Is he gonna have McDaniels as his head coach?
I don't know, and that I can't say.
Real quickly, let's just talk about this. The Cowboys are coming on off a bye week. They're fully rested. Micah Parsons is ready to go. A whole defense is ready to go. Cowboys have less injuries than the Packers, I believe, as well. The Packers actually, that last game against the Detroit Lions, they were injured to hell. I believe two of the receivers on walking boots too, for the Packers.
Yep.
So,
Really have shit. I know. Are we talking about the Cowboys right now?
yes, we're talking about the
I know the
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott came out in a Twitter post that said we want OBJ. So I know that the Cowboys have been talking to OBJ.
Everyone's been talking to OBJ, even the Packers have been.
Cowboys are prominent in OBJ right now. I think that they have the best run at him right now.
So the Packers are on a 5-game losing streak, expected to go 6. I don't see them actually competing with the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys over the Packers.
Me too.
Like the Cowboys defense is just elite, man, and I don't know how Rodgers is gonna do it when if he can't throw the ball. I don't think the Green Bay Packers are gonna be able to even run the ball against this Cowboy defense. All right, we both take the Cowboys, and this was an easy game to pick from. Up next, let's go to Los Angeles. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the Los Angeles Rams.
The Cardinals have been such a letdown this season. They really have. Such a letdown.
So who would you take, the 3-6 Cardinals or the 3-5 Rams season this year?
The Rams. For sure, the Rams. Why? It's because the Cardinal, it just seems like, I don't know why. And it's been debunked, by the way, your theory about Kyler Murray and the Call of Duty games.
What do you mean?
He came out that weekend that Call of Duty released and played a great game.
Oh, you mean the one against Seattle or the one against Minnesota?
Both game.
I mean, he still lost both games.
So
okay, hold on. 35 of 25, 25 of 35 completion percent of completions, 175 yards passing, 2 pass touchdowns. It's okay. I wouldn't say he's great.
I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that it was terrible though.
It wasn't terrible, no. My whole thing about this Cal Murray thing is that when it comes down to big situations and it comes down to the end of the game, he turns the ball over and he can't get the job done. That's the problem. He can't get the job done. And whenever Call of Duty comes out more, he gets more. It's like he's kind of rushing the game and trying to get back home to play fucking Call of Duty. It's how it really seems. The way he plays in the final seconds of the game seems like he's just like, fuck it. I'm just going to throw it up. If we catch it, we catch it. If we don't, it's over. And I think it has something to do with the Hail Murray the Hail Murray game that happened like 2 years ago. He threw a Hail Murray that got caught by DeAndre Hopkins. And ever since then, he's kind of been thinking that Hail Marys is the way he's going to get like out of situations.
Right.
And like he takes more shots with the ball, it seems like, too. It doesn't seem like he's actually trying to like find the open man. He looked for Hopkins, who's double covered, he just throws it to him. Now, granted, Hopkins is a really great receiver and he'll catch him most of the time, but still, you have to, if there's an open receiver somewhere else and he's getting double covered and there's an open receiver that can catch easier, then you go to the easier receiver. Man, both teams have been disappointing for me this season, though. Like, if you told me in the start of the season that the Rams, Cardinals, and Niners were not going to be winning the division, and the Seahawks would be winning the division in the start of week before the start of week 1, huh?
I would have laughed at you.
You would have been asking what crack you're smoking.
And I would have probably laughed.
I don't know who to pick in this game because both teams are just atrocious to me. But you know what? The LA Rams somehow, some way, still have the best ranked defense in the NFL right now. I'm taking the Rams just for that fact. So give me the Rams over the Cardinals.
And the Rams or the Chargers?
The Rams.
Then I'm picking the Rams.
We actually have the Chargers up next. Let's go on Monday. Let's go with Sunday Night Footballs. We got the Los Angeles Chargers going into San Francisco and Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.
I think the 49ers win at home.
Why do you say that?
I think McCaffrey comes in and makes an impact. I just think that, like, I don't know, the 49ers. I just don't think the Chargers are going to. I like the 49ers. I like the way that Jimmy G is picked up. He's just picked up and rolled with it. From going from could possibly get released to the option for the rest of the year. And he's just rolled with the punches.
The Niners are also coming off a bye week this week.
And they get a little healthier. So, I mean, it's hard to root against the home team.
All right, I'm taking the Niners as well. And here's the thing. The Chargers have all these injuries. Joey Bosa's out on IR. Jay Guyton's out on IR. You have all these players out. You also have Mike Williams out with a leg injury. Keenan Allen also injured. He's questionable to play in this game as well. And last week I was watching this game with the Falcons against the freaking Chargers. Brandon Stanley has turned Justin Herbert, who has one of the best arm talents in the NFL, into a checkdown artist. What the fuck are you doing? Why is all the teams in the AFC West have fucking terrible head coaches? Nasty Nate, McDaniels, Brandon Stanley. The only one there that's not a bad head coach is fucking Andy Reid.
And Sean McDermott.
I'm saying AFC West.
Yeah.
I say I'll still give credit to the Bill Belichick, even though people are saying he's getting exposed this season because he's without Tom Brady. I still can't take away his accomplishments he made in his career. But this is just atrocious what they've been doing to Justin Herbert. And they made Justin Herbert to a checkdown artist, and they almost lost to the freaking Falcons that week. The Chargers have the better record, but of course the Niners have the better. They're the better team in general, in my opinion. I think Christian McCaffrey, huh?
I said absolutely they're the better team.
I think Christian McCaffrey, this team is freaking has made lights different, and I think the Niners are the only team. Huh?
I said that's what I was saying. He came in and made an immediate impact, and that's the type of special player that you want on your football team.
And plus, I think the Niners are the only team in the NFC West right now that can compete with the Seahawks for the division title. So I'm taking I'm taking the Niners over the Chargers. I don't believe in Justin Herbert anymore. I don't believe in this team. Get rid of Brandon Stanley after the season. Potter, what do you think?
I agree fully.
Taking the Niners?
Yep.
And then for Monday Night Football, we got the shit game of the week, the Commanders at the Eagles.
This is the most shit game of the week.
This is just my primetime game of the week. That's going to be terrible to watch. You know what? I'm going to say this. The Eagles are so overrated, it's not even funny. They barely beat the fucking Texans.
I know, that was terrible and hard to watch. It was very hard to watch.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose their one. They're gonna lose a close game soon. And you know who I'm thinking they're gonna lose to? I'm thinking they're gonna lose to the fucking Packers in Week 12.
Could be.
Or the Titans in Week 13. I think the Titans actually might give them a run for their money. But what do you think? What do you guys say about like Tyler Heineke and this Commanders offense?
I mean, they gave up on Carson Wentz so fast. Uh, is that it for Carson Wentz, or is he hurt?
Carson Wentz,
Really?
I think he's out. I don't know for sure. Let me check.
That would make a difference, knowing if he's out or if they
He's on
put him out.
IR.
That's why. Okay, so obviously they lost Carson Wentz, but Tyler Heineke is not a terrible option, not by any means. I think he's a great option. I think again he's able to help manage that game. And again, game management is huge in my opinion. You know that, especially when you're missing a better option at quarterback. And I'm not saying that he's better or worse, but obviously they believe in Carson Wentz and they want Carson Wentz back on the field as fast as he can.
So more news about the Commanders. Dan
Isn't
Snyder
somebody
got
interested in buying them?
yes, Dan Snyder's trying to sell the actual team.
I heard about that. Some
He's
type of litigation. I don't know. There's something going on with them.
yeah, he's in deep shit basically. He's trying to get out of it. Um Give me the Eagles. I said they're overrated, but they should be able to beat this team. I don't think Washington's really that good of a team this year. I mean,
I'm gonna laugh if Washington wins.
I'm
But
not
I'm gonna
surprised if Washington wins.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Picking the Eagles. I just hate to be in a team like I would hate to be in the Eagles' shoes right now, being 8-0 this season. You're the only team that's undefeated this season. You've been winning games left, right, and center. And like sooner or later, once you lose like one game, people are gonna start calling you frauds. And I don't think the Eagles are a bad team when I say that I think they're overrated. I just don't think they're 8-0 season. They should have lost 2 games this season, in my opinion. They're a good team, but they're not like an undefeated like running through over teams. They have just an easy schedule to get through the day. Now they're taking on real teams like let's just say they took on like the Bills with fully healthy, Kansas City fully healthy. Um, I think that's where you would test this team out and see their limits. If they can keep up with those 2 teams, then it'd be a different story. But we can't actually see that this season because they don't take on really anyone this season. That's the problem with the Eagles right now. We don't really know exactly how good they are until they get an actual good game. Now, Potter will actually probably say that a game against the Cowboys when they had Cooper Rush would be a good game for them to test their limits when they beat him 26-17. Cooper Rush was in there and threw 3 interceptions against the Eagles. You also get the Cowboys in Week 16 as well in Dallas. That's a good test game, right, Potter?
I agree.
And then you also have 2 games, Week 14 and Week 18 against the Giants that are test games as well. Potter would agree with that too.
I 100%.
But I just don't see those teams being as like elite as the Chiefs and Bills. And people put this team in that elite category with the Chiefs and Bills. That's the only reason I'm not like saying that I don't really see them as that like danger this season. But that's just me. If you're an Eagle fan, you should enjoy winning right now as you can. But I gotta take the Eagles over the Commanders. Potter, you got anything else to say about this game?
I'm gonna take the Eagles over the. Yep.
All right, and that is it for our predictions, guys. Thank you for watching. I don't know where this is going to go up on. If it's going to go on Twitch, if it's going to go up on YouTube, I don't know yet. I might get an email and I just haven't checked my phone at all about it. But no email yet. But real quickly, once we get that situated and sorted out, hopefully we got the stuff on YouTube. Yeah, I can't really else to say. We'll get the short videos up there too, and we'll put it on Twitch as well if no time comes. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Potter, got any last words?
Good luck to all the teams on the bye getting healthy.
Good to say. All right, well, take care, guys. Peace.